Burn This. I did the
wow.
Resistible
Burn
Rise
This.
of Arturo Ui, which I would later do. And I played Arturo Ui in that production, I'll have you know. But I would
Yeah.
later do it with Al Pacino playing Arturo Ui off Broadway. So that was a nice full circle moment
So
for me.
you did theater with Al Pacino?
I did. That cast, can I tell you? Steve Buscemi, Charles Durning, John Goodman, Tony
Wow.
Randall, Paul Giamatti, Linda
That's
Eamon.
crazy.
Yeah, and I'm forgetting people. Sterling Brown, Johnny Ventimiglia. It was an unbelievable cast.
Wow.
We had an absolute ball doing it. I'm forgetting like 300 people that were in it. But it was directed by this guy, Simon McBurney, who ran this theater company in London that did some of the most incredible productions I've ever seen. They're called Theatre de Complicité or Complicity now or whatever.
Yeah.
But so to get to work with him and to see somebody with that kind of mastery of the craft was it was killer.
Yeah, because I think Pacino can still do it when he wants to.
Oh, he works his ass off. I'll tell you that straight up. I mean, he works his ass off, and he is invested in it. You know, and I can't say that for everybody, but
because when I watched him play, when he did Kevorkian in that HBO movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, holy fuck! I mean, because like there was a while there where he was just sort of hoo-ha, hey, ha, yeah. But like when, but
you got
then
to figure at a certain point, nobody is giving him direction. You know, they're saying that's how you like to do it. Sure,
right, because they're nervous. Why they?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, listen, if you do Dog Day Afternoon and Godfather Part 2 in the same year, which I think he did, those two different roles that are so brilliantly executed, you know, fuck it. That's more. You've had more than your share. Okay.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want.
Whatever you want for the best.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has ever lacked in a continued commitment to working.
It's just odd to see that generation, you know, becoming these old men and who kind of can still not do it.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go back to, so you finish at Chapel Hill, then you go to Tisch, and that's where you really lock in. Is that how it works?
Yeah, exactly. And it is a professional actor training program that focuses you on essentially taking the shotgun approach. Like, we're going to teach you as many different skills. So when you enter the workplace, whatever you're offered, whether it's voiceovers, whether it's commercials, whether it's theater, film, television, whatever, you're going to be moderately prepared to get into it. And so, it's also in New York City. So casting directors and agents would come and see some of the productions that you were doing. They not just because they're looking for talent, but because some of the productions that NYU was doing and Juilliard was doing and Yale was doing at the time, like they were doing some of Tony Kushner's first productions of Angels in America and Perestroika. I saw Michael Stuhlbarg do Angels in America at Juilliard before it was out.
Really?
And so, you know, there was a lot of opportunity for actors in those programs because of our proximity to being in New York. Then you also get to see actors who you were there with as, you know, third year students go into the world. You get to see them manage their careers. So you kind of have an experience of being in the workplace and studying at the same time.
Now, because you're really, like, more than almost anybody I've talked to, a theater guy. I mean, you're a theater actor, really, for the most part. I mean, that's what you do. When if anyone ever says, like, what happened to Billy Crudup, it's like, he's probably doing a play, right?
Well, that's almost always the case.
But that's a choice you make.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't know. You kind of go to where you feel right, you know, where you feel. I don't have wild ambitions in terms of like collecting money and things, you know, and like
you make a living.
I do. Listen, I'll tell you what. You want to know how I made a living? There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
I've heard that.
Let me tell you, that gave me my agency to do as many plays as I wanted to for a while because it was a guaranteed sum. You know, like
how long did you do that? Like a decade?
13 years. And so,
oh my God.
Can you? I mean, it really is. Again, of the things to be embarrassed about, it was mortifying to me. But obviously, I kept that ball rolling as long as I could.
But that's you know, that's a lifetime's worth of money. But I think it's interesting that you really, because like going into this interview, there was this idea that like, all right, so you made, because I'd read that you made the bread doing the commercial, and so you could choose what you wanted to do. But for some reason, I automatically thought, well, why isn't he in more movies then? Because you chose theater.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, it was always my plan to do as much of everything as I could. And the fact of the matter is, I wasn't getting great parts in movies at a certain point. I was getting great parts on stage. And I went to where the great parts were, because that, again, like, why would I refuse a great part? I mean, you know, the Vineyard Theater where I was nude first, where I did Harry Clark, my first thought at reading this piece was, no, Jesus, that's so much work. Why would anybody ever do that? That's exhausting. And then in the middle of the night, I wake up. How many people get the opportunity to open a one-person show in New York? Get off your fucking ass and get to the theater, you know, like that is typically my response. So the kinds of things that I got to do working with Martin McDonough, actually Michael Stuhlbarg was in the production with Jeff Goldblum and Željko Ivanek that we did of a play called The Pillow Man. Doing The Coast of Utopia, which was a Tom Stoppard play that, you know, was a 3-part epic about Russian philosophers at the turn of the, 19th century or something. And it was spectacular at Lincoln Center. And you would come see it. You would see the first part on Tuesday, the second part Wednesday, the third part Thursday, or you could come see them all on Saturday. Start at 11 in these marathons. And every one of those marathons was sold out. So I was getting opportunities like that.
You won a Tony for that, right?
I did want to Tony. I should bring it. I should have brought all to show you. Just I should carry it with me.
I believe you.
Just as evidence. Sometimes I'm looking around like, did I get a Tony for it? But
it's over there somewhere. Yeah.
Just the experience of it.
Yeah.
To me, that's the kind of life I wanted to lead. So, you know, if I was getting those kinds of opportunities in film, to work with, you know, the caliber of people that I wanted to work with, it's very likely I would have been doing more film. But, you know,
but what do you think that was about? Why don't you think that happened? I mean, it seems like you were like, I mean, it seems like you can definitely carry a movie.
Well, things come and go, you know, like, and you get opportunities, or somebody like me got a lot of opportunities early on, based upon potential. And so,
oh my God! So you were you were in that movie Sleepers.
Yeah,
man, that movie's so fucking heavy, man.
Yeah,
that was your first movie.
That was the first one that came out. I did an independent film before that called Grind. Adrian Shelley, Paul Schulze, Amanda Peet, and then I had a small part in a Woody Allen movie called Everyone Says I Love You. But yeah, that was the first big one that came out. And then I did Inventing the Abbots, Pat O'Connor and Joaquin Phoenix and Jennifer Connelly. And then so I got an opportunity to be a lead in Without Limits about the runner Steve Prefontaine.
You were great in that.
Oh, thanks, man.
I still when I jog, I still remember things that, you know, you were told in that movie.
That's killer. That's that was that guy. The guy Steve Prefontaine. He had an indelible image in my memory because my dad loved him and had the cover of Sports Illustrated that he was on our countertop when I was younger. You know, I must have been 5 or 6 or something, but this haunting image of him was with me the whole time. And so when I saw his name, it was with, you know, Robert Towne, who wrote Chinatown. It was being shot by Conrad Hall. There's Donald Sutherland, and produced by Tom Cruise and Paula Wagner. And so, you know, I was punching above my weight at that point. And if you don't deliver under those circumstances, you're unlikely to get those opportunities again until you do deliver in something. You know, it's just like from a financial point of view, if they're mostly interested in, like, even Almost Famous, that didn't do well at the box office when it came out. You know,
so the Steve Prefontaine movie didn't do great.
No,
and Almost Famous didn't do great.
Yeah, and so, you know, that's some portion of it. And some portion of it is that I would say no to things because I was doing a play, and people were like,
and Jesus, everyone loved Jesus' Son.
Yeah, but we couldn't get people to see it. It's like, have you seen the cast for that? It's an unbelievable. It's like a really great cast, but we couldn't get people to the theater.
Well, it's a heavy movie. I get it. And it was an indie movie,
well,
right?
and it's beautifully unconventional. And I love that about it. But also too, you know, like, I at a certain point, if you keep saying no because you're doing a play, people, they get pissed off at you, I think. And then also 16 years ago, I had a son, so I wanted to be located here in New York as much as possible. And,
And that was before the commercials.
It was in the middle. I got that commercial probably 97, 98.
But that's also like that. That was also the thing you had to deal with is, the press was not too kind to you around your relationships.
What is there to say about that? I mean,
I don't know.
I appreciate people using trauma for their own clickbait and fodder.
Right.
Go for it. I'm just not going to participate.
Right.
So there's not a whole lot to navigate there. And who can say what the effect of that is,
How is everybody now? Do you get along with her and the kid and everybody?
Listen, we all do the very best we can. But, I try. Listen, one of the reasons I don't comment, well, there's like 3 good reasons. First of all, there are other people involved. And unless they want to talk about it themselves, what the fuck am I going to say?
Well, that's right. I've learned that the hard way. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember doing an interview early on and I had talked about my childhood. And so the writer summed it up as like his traumatic childhood from, and my mom read that as one of the first pieces and, called me crying. And I was like, oh, Mom, shit, we got to get, like some understanding of this, it's not, otherwise this is going to be a tough ride.
Well, see but that's interesting because now when you talk about it, the tone is different and the trauma is less. It doesn't come off as traumatic because you put things into perspective.
Well, and when you're older, I guess that happens.
And you're successful.
Well, that's one of the things that in addition to being protective of the people in my life that don't have a voice when I decide to do an interview, I was really protective early on of having any kind of public persona because my whole jam was going to try to be a character actor. So if you know shit about me, I'm not going to be able to be 2 different things in 2 different movies and have you think it. You should like at the end of the movie go, oh, that was Billy Crudup. I didn't know that. Oh shit.
Right.
That was going to be my whole, I just wasn't like great at it at the beginning. I was giving like some kind of like good-ish performances, but they were in lots of different kinds of things. So what the industry wants you to do is cultivate a personality at that point and become a star, so that they can use you, for their own nefarious purposes.
But it's interesting because, I think at that time you're probably a little too attractive to be a regular character actor.
Yeah, I had too much work done too early, and that was a fault of mine. I thought it was going to be great for us. And these cheekbones are this is cartilage from my head.
You know what I'm saying?
And I can't. No, trust me. It was.
You're no Ned Beatty.
That brings up so many different memories. Oh my God, I love Ned Beatty. Holy shit. Oh no, I wish I wasn't Ned Beatty. I am no Ned Beatty. But no, I had, a very photographable, is that the word? Photographable face. Photographic. That's the one we're looking for, Mark.
Yeah.
And so I was really aware early on of how people wanted to cast me. And I would look at some of these parts and say, I don't know how to play that guy. Like, you need somebody who can do a hero. And that I need a different angle. Like I need,
really?
Yeah, that those are the things that appeal to me. They're interesting to me.
But that's the reason you would actually turn down leads because this guy comes out on top. He's like a star.
You know what? Here's the thing with heroes, mostly when they're written in subpar material, is they don't have any character traits, so people can project shit onto them. Right. They don't have any inner monologue. They don't. Okay. What they have is the fierceness of their action and the ability to muscle through the obstacles with grit, grace, and a little bit of sexiness. And I didn't know. I didn't have that character in me. I had different characters in me. That wasn't
Come
one
on,
of them.
you just didn't want to pretend. They're just paying you to pretend, Billy.
Yeah,
You
but
just-
you got to go to where you're good at it. I could play Steve Prefontaine because he was fucked up and he was kind of a dick at times. You know, that's an
Flaw.